Hi. Could you help me understand the publications in top journal percentiles, metric and Cival? I'm particularly interested in how it works and any nuances I should be aware of.
Hi. Could you help me understand the publications in top journal percentiles, metric and Cival? I'm particularly interested in how it works and any nuances I should be aware of.
How are these journal metrics thresholds calculated?
The thresholds for the top 1%, 5%, 10%, and 25% most cited journals are calculated separately for CiteScore, SNP, and SJR. For publications from 1996 to 2010, the CiteScore percentile for 2011 is used. If no 2011 metrics are available for a journal, no value is displayed. Current year journal metrics are published the following year, and until then, the previous year's metrics are used.
What should I be careful about when using this metric?
This metric should be used with care when the goal is to judge an entity's publications based on their actual performance rather than the journal's average. Publications can appear in high-ranking journals without receiving any citations themselves. Also, a highly influential publication might not be in a top-ranked journal. When benchmarking, researchers who are journal editors exclude editorials using the publication type filter to ensure consistency.
How does this metric handle interdisciplinary comparisons?
SNP and SJR are field normalized, allowing comparisons across disciplines. Although CiteScore isn't field normalized, CiteScore percentile is. This makes it easier to compare entities from different fields.
What about small entities?
For small entities, missing a single publication in a prominent journal can significantly impact apparent performance. Although it's unlikely that such publications aren't indexed by Scopus, it's essential to stay vigilant.
Are there partner metrics that complement this one?
Yes, partner metrics include citation count, citations per publication, field-weighted citation impact, and outputs in top citation percentiles, which rely on citations received by an entity's publications. Other useful metrics are scholarly output, subject area count, Scopus source title count, and collaboration, which provide reliable information immediately upon publication without needing time for data to accumulate.
How does this metric help in showcasing performance?
This metric showcases the presence of publications in prestigious journals, incorporating peer review into the evaluation. It avoids the dip seen in metrics like citation count for recent years and is useful for early-stage strategies or early career researchers since it doesn't rely on citations, which take time to accumulate.
Thanks. This really clarifies how to use the publications in top journal percentiles metric effectively and the nuances involved.
You're welcome. Remember, using a combination of metrics gives a more comprehensive view of research performance.
Can you help me understand the citations per publication metric in Cival? I want to know how it works and its potential advantages and limitations.
Of course. The citations per publication metric indicates the average number of citations received by each publication of an entity. It's a citation impact metric and is also known as a snowball metric. Cival displays this metric in charts or tables with years corresponding to the publication dates, not the citation dates.
What are the primary uses of this metric?
This metric is useful for benchmarking the average citation impact of publications within a body of work. It's helpful for comparing the average influence of publications from entities of different sizes, but within related disciplines. It can also showcase the performance of entities that have a few highly cited papers, positively affecting the overall average.
What should I be cautious about when using this metric?
There are several considerations. Disciplinary differences. It's not advisable to compare entities from distinct disciplines without accounting for differences. Use the research area filter or field-weighted citation impact for such comparisons. Citation reliability. A few highly cited publications can obscure a large body of uncited material. Use cited publications to understand the proportion of cited works. Small entities. Small entities may experience significant fluctuations in this metric due to gaps in Scopus coverage or the impact of a single missing publication. Vigilance is crucial here. Self-citations. Excessive self-citations can inflate the metric. Deselect the Include Self-Citations option to check for this. Early stage research. For early career researchers or new strategies, the short time since publication can reduce reliability. Consider metrics like scope, source, title count, or collaboration instead. Recent publications typically show a dip in citations because they haven't had enough time to be cited. Field-weighted citation impact can help avoid this issue.
What partner metrics complement citations per publication?
Partner metrics include field-weighted citation impact, accounts for disciplinary differences and avoids the dip seen with recent publications. Outputs in top citation percentiles and publications in top journal percentiles also avoid the dip and provide insights into highly cited publications or those in prestigious journals. Cited publications measures the reliability that an entity's publications will be used in subsequent research. Collaboration impact and academic corporate collaboration impact measure citations per publication within collaborative contexts. Time-independent metrics provide reliable information immediately upon publication, like scholarly output, subject area count, scope, source, title count, and collaboration metrics.
This is really helpful. It seems like using a combination of these metrics gives a more comprehensive view of research impact.
Exactly. Combining metrics provides a balanced perspective, accounting for different aspects of research performance and mitigating the limitations of any single metric.
Let's discuss the cited publications metric in CIVAL. This metric indicates how many of an entity's publications have received at least one citation, reflecting their citability.
What are the key features of the cited publications metric?
The cited publications metric is a citation impact metric and a power metric when the total value option is selected, but not when the percentage option is selected. It displays data in charts or tables by the publication years of items.
How can this metric be useful?
This metric is useful for benchmarking, assessing how much subsequent work builds on an entity's publications. Comparing entities, comparing the influence of publications from entities of different sizes, but in related disciplines. Using the percentage option helps normalize size differences. Demonstrating excellence, showing entities that consistently produce work that is reliably cited. Accounting for highly cited papers, highlighting consistent citability without being skewed by a few highly cited papers, unlike citation count and citations per publication.
Are there any cautions or limitations I should be aware of?
Yes, consider the following. Disciplinary differences. Avoid comparing entities from distinct disciplines without accounting for differences in citation behaviors. For example, fields like parasitology and mathematical modeling have different citation patterns. Mixed disciplines. When dealing with entities that span multiple disciplines, use the research area filter to focus on a common field. Magnitude of citations. This metric doesn't indicate the magnitude of citations. Use citation count or citations per publication for that. Small entities. Gaps in Scopus coverage can impact small entities significantly. Be vigilant and consider comparing larger datasets in the same discipline. Self-citations. Excessive self-citations can inflate this metric. Check the Include Self-Citations option to assess this. Early stage research. For early career researchers or new strategies, the short time since publication may reduce reliability. Consider other metrics for early performance assessment.
What metrics complement cited publications?
Useful partner metrics include citation count and citations per publication, indicate the magnitude of citation impact and are positively affected by highly cited publications. Other power metrics, such as scholarly output, subject area count, citation count, number of citing countries, collaboration, total value, academic corporate collaboration, total value, outputs in top citation percentiles, total value, publications in top journal percentiles, total value, and H indices. Time-independent metrics, like scholarly output, subject area count, Scopus source title count, collaboration, academic corporate collaboration, and publications in top journal percentiles, which provide reliable information immediately upon publication.
This comprehensive overview helps a lot. It seems using a mix of metrics offers a more balanced perspective.
Exactly. Combining metrics allows for a nuanced understanding of research performance, accounting for different factors and limitations of individual metrics.
Continuing our discussion, let's talk about the number of citing countries metric in CIVAL. This metric shows the geographical visibility of an entity's publications by counting the distinct countries from which citations have been received.
What are the key features and uses of the number of citing countries metric?
The number of citing countries is a citation impact metric and a power metric. It is useful for comparing smaller entities, highlighting differences in the geographical spread of citations for groups like research teams or publication sets, showcasing large entities, providing impressive figures for larger entities by indicating high numbers of citing countries, benchmarking geographical visibility, comparing collaboration networks or researchers in related fields to show the global reach of their work, demonstrating geographical appeal, indicating the diversity of geographical sources of citations, which can reflect extensive global impact, avoiding manipulation, offering a view of publishing activity that is less susceptible to manipulation.
What should be considered when using this metric?
This metric should be used with care in the following situations. Comparing large entities. Large entities may have many publications and citations, making the number of citing countries approach a maximum. It's better to focus on a specific area using the research area filter. Benchmarking different sizes. Avoid comparing entities of vastly different sizes, like institutions and small departments, as this metric will reflect size rather than global visibility. Different disciplines. The international appeal of different disciplines varies. For example, national literature might have less international appeal compared to chemistry. Use the research area filter to focus on a common field. Magnitude of citations. Use citation count or citations per publication for information on the magnitude of citations. Small entities. Small datasets can be significantly impacted by gaps in Scopus coverage. Be vigilant, especially with early career researchers. Compare larger datasets in the same discipline to ensure fair comparisons. Early stage research. For new strategies or early career researchers, the short time since publication might reduce the reliability of decisions based on this metric. Use time-independent metrics like subject area count in these cases.
What are some complementary metrics for number of citing countries?
Useful partner metrics include citation count and citations per publication. These metrics provide information about the magnitude of citations received. Collaboration. This shows the extent of international co-authorship and complements the geographical visibility view provided by the number of citing countries metric. Other power metrics, like scholarly output, subject area count, Scopus source title count, citation count, cited publications, total value, collaboration, total value, academic corporate collaboration, total value, outputs in top citation percentiles, total value, publications in top journal percentiles, total value, and H indices. Time-independent metrics, such as scholarly output, subject area count, Scopus source title count, collaboration, academic corporate collaboration, and publications in top journal percentiles, which provide reliable information immediately upon publication.
This comprehensive overview helps a lot. It seems using a mix of metrics offers a more balanced perspective on research performance.
Absolutely. Combining these metrics gives a nuanced view of research impact and performance, accounting for different factors and limitations of individual metrics.
Continuing with our metrics discussion, let's delve into the patent citations per scholarly output metric in CIVAL.
What are the key features and uses of the patent citations per scholarly output metric?
The patent citations per scholarly output metric calculates the average number of patent citations received per 1,000 scholarly outputs published by an entity, for example, a university. It's essentially the patent citation count divided by the total scholarly output of the entity for a given period, multiplied by 1,000.
Yes, for example, if Athena University published 10,000 publications in 5 years and received 600 patent citations, the metric would be calculated as 60,010,000 times 1,000 equals 60. 10,000,600 times 1,000 equals 60.
Right, and so, this metric is useful to understand research impact on product creation. It helps gauge how much research is being used in creating products on average. Assess economic impact. It provides insights into the economic impact of research by showing how frequently it is cited in patents.
When should this metric be used with care?
This metric should be used with care in the following situations. Disciplines unlikely to be referenced in patents. For instance, arts and humanities might not see much referencing in patents. Countries not covered by patent offices in CIVAL. This could lead to incomplete data and misinterpretations.
What are some complementary metrics for patent citations per scholarly output?
Useful partner metrics include patent cited scholarly output, the count of scholarly outputs cited by patents. Patent citations count, the total count of patent citations received by the entity. Patent citations per scholarly output, to provide a more comprehensive view of patent citations relative to scholarly output.
Great. Can we also touch upon the mass media metric?
Absolutely. The mass media metric in CIVAL measures the total number of times researchers from selected institutions are mentioned in media articles. It covers online news, web-based news publications, print, text originally available in print, blogs, interactive websites with posts and reader comments, reader comments on blogs or news articles. The database includes LexisNexis Print Archive, 2011 Oct. 2015. LexisNexis Metabase Print News, since November 2015. LexisNexis Metabase Online News, since September 2013.
How is the mass media metric allocated and filtered?
Media mentions are delivered via a near real-time feed from LexisNexis Metabase to Nextflow. CIVAL updates every 2 months. Articles are matched against the Scopus database and validated if a Scopus author name and affiliation are found in at least one article in the cluster. Mass media can be filtered by source category: academic, news from educational institutions; corporate press releases; general, news items yet to be assigned a category; government, news from government sources; journal, periodicals focused on science, technology, or professions; local, news from local/regional sources; miscellaneous, news that doesn't fit other categories; organization, news from organizations like charities, NGOs, political parties.
Thanks for breaking that down. This information on metrics is really helpful for understanding and benchmarking research impact.
You're welcome. Combining these metrics will provide a well-rounded view of research impact, allowing for more informed decision-making and strategy development.
Let's continue by examining the mass media metric further, along with its related metric, media exposure.
Sure. What additional information can you provide about the mass media metric?
The mass media metric also considers media articles from specific sources like press releases and industry-focused news. Here's a more detailed look. PressWire, designated press release sources like Business Wire. Trade, news from industry, profession, or technology-focused sources, such as Financial Review, McKinsey Quarterly, and Oil and Gas Journal.
How is the mass media metric categorized by source tiers?
Mass media sources are assigned to one of 5 tiers by LexisNexis, considering aspects like global coverage, importance, and type of news. Tier 1, internationally recognized. Tier 2, regionally recognized. Tier 3, nationally recognized. Tier 4, locally recognized. Tier 5, local interest. For example, a highly renowned source publishing only within a country could be Tier 1, while a globally published but lesser-known industry-specific source could be Tier 5.
What makes the mass media metric a power metric?
The mass media metric is considered a power metric because it showcases broader public engagement beyond the research community, indicating some degree of societal impact. It's useful for understanding which research outputs attract media attention, discovering media outlets discussing an institution's outputs, assessing the level of global exposure for the mentioned outputs, providing early indications of interest in recently available outputs.
When should the mass media metric be used with care?
Use it with care in the following situations: comparing across disciplines. Different disciplines naturally attract varying levels of public attention. Comparing across years. Database content fluctuates over time due to licensing agreements and media source changes. Comparing across regions. The metric only considers English language media, potentially skewing data towards English-speaking regions.
What are some complementary metrics to mass media?
Complementary metrics include media exposure, indicates the number of mentions weighted by publication type, demographics, and audience reach. Field-weighted mass media adjusts for the effects different disciplines have on media exposure.
Can you elaborate on the media exposure metric?
Absolutely. Media exposure measures media mentions weighted by publication type, demographics, and audience reach. The weighting is as follows.
Internationally recognized. Total count of mass media in that tier multiplied by 1. Regionally recognized. Total count of mass media in that tier multiplied by 0.5. Nationally recognized. Total count of mass media in that tier multiplied by 0.3. Locally recognized. Total count of mass media in that tier multiplied by 0.2. Local interest. Total count of mass media in that tier multiplied by 0.1.
What makes the media exposure metric useful?
It's useful for understanding the relative impact of an institution's research on the media, assessing the extent of mentions in variously recognized sources, international, regional, national, local, showcasing broader public engagement with the institution's research.
This information helps clarify the metrics. Thanks.
You're welcome. Understanding these metrics can significantly enhance how you evaluate and communicate the impact of research. Let me know if you need further details or have other questions.
I'm conducting research on the societal impact of academic institutions, specifically looking at media engagement metrics. Could you help me understand some of these?
Of course. What particular metrics are you interested in?
Let's start with the mass media metric. From what I understand, it tracks the number of times media has referred to researchers from specific institutions. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. The mass media metric includes media articles from 2011 onwards, focusing on English language media. The coverage is divided into several categories based on the medium, such as LexisNexis Print Archive from 2011 to October 2015, LexisNexis Metabase Print News since November 2015, and LexisNexis Metabase Online News since September 2013.
Interesting. And what types of media does this metric cover?
It covers a variety of media types including online news, print news, blogs, and comments posted on blogs or news articles. It also includes sources like Presswire and trade publications.
I see. And how are these sources categorized?
They're categorized into 5 tiers by LexisNexis. Tier 1 includes internationally recognized sources, while Tier 5 includes those of local interest. The tiers consider factors like global coverage, importance, and type of news.
That's quite comprehensive. How can this metric be used effectively?
It's a powerful tool for showcasing public engagement beyond the research community, indicating societal impact, and assessing global exposure of research outputs. However, you need to be cautious when comparing across disciplines, years, and regions due to varying levels of public attention and changes in database content and journalism culture.
Got it. How about the media exposure metric? How does it differ?
Media exposure measures media mentions weighted by publication type, demographics, and audience reach. The weighting is based on recognition levels. Internationally recognized sources are weighted at ×1, while locally recognized sources are weighted at ×0.2, and local interest sources at ×0.1.
And what is the main advantage of using the media exposure metric?
It helps in understanding the relative impact of an institution's research on the media and assessing mentions in variously recognized sources. It provides a more nuanced view of media impact compared to just counting mentions.
That's useful. Lastly, can you explain the field-weighted mass media metric?
Certainly. The field-weighted mass media metric measures the ratio of media mentions relative to the expected world average for a specific subject field, publication type, and publication year. A value of 1.00 means the mentions are as expected, while a value greater than 1.00 indicates more mentions than expected.
How is this metric useful?
It's excellent for benchmarking entities regardless of their size or disciplinary profile, understanding the prestige of media exposure, and showcasing public engagement. But, like the other metrics, it should be used carefully, especially when precise information on the magnitude of media mentions is important or when comparing across regions.
Thanks. This has been incredibly helpful. These metrics will certainly add depth to my research on societal impact.